highlight three powerful forces beyond grades that shape self-confidence, and those are friendships, social comparisons, and family values. Which one of these do you think has the greatest influence on one's belief in their learning ability?
That's a great question. There's probably an empirical answer to that, and I don't know what it is. So I'm reluctant to guess. I mean, naturally, as a father, I want to think family values has an outsized influence, and we all want to think that we're really having a positive impact on our kids. But peers also has a really important effect. Let me briefly comment on why I think these are important. I think family values are important because, especially when you've got kids who are teenagers, they're discovering who they are. They're necessarily sort of distancing themselves from you a little bit, but they've already absorbed what are your family values. And I like to point out a lot of families think that they value learning, and when you push a little bit gently, they come to realize that maybe they don't. A lot of them value grades, right? I mean, more than they value learning necessarily. They're very keen on their kids getting good grades, but that's different than holding learning as a value. And what I point out is uh, when you values are something that touch everything that happens in the household, right? Like if it's not an activity. A lot of times people treat learning as an activity and they say, I really value learning. And it's like, yeah, like you're thinking like we go to the science museum sometimes, or, we really make sure that the homework gets done. Those are activities. When it's a value like honesty or something, honesty comes in as a factor into everything that happens in that family, right? So when you talk about learning, that influences, who your friends are, who you hold up to your children as a hero, right? What is it that when someone walks into your home and they look around, there are, without realizing, you are sort of displaying what's important to you on the walls. If learning is a family value, then that's touching all of those sorts of factors, these silent messages that children are getting. So I do think that family value is very important for influencing a child's self-image as a learner. Like, this is why, they're kids who grow up who just never doubt, I'm going to college, I belong in college. That's not just because they do well in school. That's because learning has been a family value. It's just clear. Everyone is always learning as much as they can, and college is a great place to learn. Let me just briefly mention one of the other factors that you mentioned, which is social comparison, which again, I think is very important. And that can happen both in a positive way or a negative way. Social comparison can make you think less of your own ability as a learner if you're constantly comparing yourself to someone who's superior to you, to your own disadvantage, right? But then it can be a double-edged sword depending on how you think about it, because if you see this person as a peer, that can also be inspiring. And that person is actually really going to be supportive and wonderful to have around if you are a student or are otherwise trying to learn. They're going to support you not only in material ways, but also in emotional ways. Like when things don't go well, learning is important to them too. They get it when you're upset that your learning isn't going as well as you would like it to. So who you hang around with can really have an important impact on your life as a learner.